Well, the question had to do with, how are you going to pay for this? And there's a number of ways to do it. I would encourage the members of the legislature and the governor to start looking at closing some useless tax loopholes. We can recover a significant amount of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, if we work cooperatively to close tax loopholes. The other aspect about raising revenue, and one that I support, have not talked with the DuBois family about this, but I support a severance tax on oil in the state of California. We're the only large oil-producing state in the nation that doesn't charge a severance tax for what the oil companies take out of the ground. Alaska has one, it's 25%. Texas has one, 12.5%.
Yeah.
If we were to charge 10% per barrel in California, we'd raise $1.5 billion each and every year. You could save a lot of kids with that kind of money.
Are these measures expensive? Are these bills really cost prohibitive?
I don't think that they are. Most of I've described these measures as being well thought out and thoughtful and responsible. And what the family has done in taking a look at this legislation is really a modest reform in some aspects, calling for departments to engage in more training, to use more technology, to close some of the gaps in the safety net for children. And so it's really about realigning resources. I don't consider these bills to be significantly expensive.
Is there any price tag that you have any idea of what it would cost?
No,
None right now?
No, I haven't created an estimate. There are committees in the legislature that do that kind of work, and we'll see what kind of numbers they come up with. But I do think that when it comes to public safety, the public demands that we take reasonable steps to enhance the likelihood that they will be safe and secure, and that we recover missing children.
And in a perfect world, how soon before this is reality, all four bills?
Well, in a perfect world, we're looking at hearings at the Senate Public Safety Committee, probably within 3 weeks. Then it works through the legislative process, and assuming we're successful and the governor signs the bills, they would be effective January 1 of 2011.
2011?
That's correct.
How would the sex offender ID differ and be better than the Megan's Law website?
Well, the sex offender ID on the license would provide the investigating officers who encounter someone during a traffic stop with easily recognizable information that the individual they have has been found guilty and convicted of a violent sex offense. You could then take that information, look at where it is that they're supposed to be living, find out where it is you found them, and if they're somewhere where they're not supposed to be, then that leads to a whole new avenue of investigation.
Was this in response to a reaction of what happened with John Gardner and the Escondido police when he was stopped?
Well, no. This is a practice that has already been adopted by at least 2 other states, and we think it's a reasonable and intelligent approach that provides law enforcement with additional tools to identify people who are likely to have been engaged in crimes. We know it is unfortunate, but criminals who engage in sexually violent offenses, particularly against minors, they are repeat offenders. It's seldom, if ever, a one-time crime.
Are you going to do any work with the Chelsea's Law people to try to combine or work together or anything of that nature?
Well, I mean, we all spend our time under the Capitol Dome. I know Mr. Fletcher, he's a fine legislator. He's got a particular direction that he's taking with his bill. I'm working with the family here in a parallel direction, but keep in mind, what we're looking at in this bill package isn't punitive. And I think the Moe DuBois understood that what was important to him was to better reinforce the system, to make sure that you recover children, and that when you get them, that you've increased the chances that they'll be found alive. The punishment end of it is more the focus of Mr. Fletcher.
Do you think that these two will help each other or hurt each other in terms of competition for support?
No, I actually think they're very complementary.
Moe?
Yeah, well, we haven't spoken with them. We haven't discussed the actual details of our bills. I've explained to him some of the measures that we're pursuing, and of course they're very supportive of us, and just like we are of them. You know, any reform of the current system to make it better, to make it stricter, to make it harder for these predators to be on our streets is what we need. You know, and just to address AB 589 driver's license bill, I really want to stress that there's a lot of misunderstanding by people out there who think that minor offenses will be indicated on these licenses. This is specifically for convicted harsh criminals who are proven predators. My child was killed by a proven predator. He was on the streets. These people will harm again, and every crime they do is more significant and easier to do than the last. It's plain and simple, they will do it again. If we don't keep them off the streets, then we have to do something. We have to do something.
Talk about the time factor now that's involved in this, cutting this response time in half. You know, hindsight is wonderful, but in the future.
It's plain and simple. A child gets away from you a mile a minute. If your child's abducted by a stranger, in any direction that child is taken, they're a mile a minute they're getting away from you. Immediate response is crucial. And what I tell any parent out there, if your child is supposed to be somewhere and they're not there for 5 minutes and you don't know where they're at, don't take the time to go look for them. Don't call around. Call law enforcement. Get the professionals there who know what to do, because every minute you waste is further that your child could be getting away from you if they are gone. It's a lot easier to say our child is back home, you can call off the search, than it is to say, well, we've been looking for 6 hours and we couldn't find our child. Come help us now. You know, immediate response is crucial when your child goes missing.
You said, Mr. DuBois, you blame the justice system for releasing a monster. Talk to us about that.
Gardner's psychiatric evaluation in his 2000 case, the one person brought in by the courts to evaluate him, to give them an opinion of the type of person he was, suggested that he be locked up for the maximum possible time. He showed absolutely no remorse for his crimes, and they still gave him only 6 years of sentence, rather than the suggested 30 years. There's numerous issues, numerous parole violations, which all should have sent Gardner back into the system. Did he fall through the cracks? Oh yeah, he fell through the cracks 100 times. Does he know how to work the system? Most predators do. What can we do to prevent this from happening again? Try to monitor them, keep track of them, keep them in lockup and in cages longer where they need to be. These are predators who are going to hurt our children. You wouldn't allow a mountain lion in your school. Why do you let a predator come be the janitor? You know, why? Why do you do that to our children?
Mo, are these 4 bills enough to fix the system?
No. These are our current immediate ideas. These are more reactive bills to what happens and what law enforcement should do at the moment that they find out a child is missing. We have many more intentions in the future of more preventive measures and more towards victims' rights and family rights and stuff. We have a lot of things we're going to be looking for. This is what we're pursuing now. This is what we feel needs to be done immediately.
Mr. Nava,
Yes.
do you have something under your sleeve in order to pass all these 4 bills, especially on the appropriations committee?
Well, I have Rebecca and Mo. And I'm confident that I'm going to have the support of every parent who has ever lost a child, every grandparent who's lost a grandchild, and every right-thinking person in this state. That's what I have going for me.
Somewhat on the same theme, people who are trying to close up loopholes in Megan's law have been told there's no mood in the legislature to even consider it. Are you saying there is, you just have to find it, or, you know, where is there some room there for you to be able to get your bills in?
Well, I don't give up easily. Some people call it determined. I'm happy to be called stubborn. And once I put my mind to something, and I partnered with an excellent legislator, Mr. Cook, there's a reason why the DuBois, Rebecca and Mo, decided they wanted a Democrat and a Republican working together. And it was a deliberate decision that they made, because they understand how the legislative process works. They understand that it can be challenging. But they also understand that bipartisan approach and cooperation is what people in this state are looking for. And that's what sometimes in the legislature we fail to do. We're not going to fail this time.